Hey everybody, this is Kevin Deline, and I'm excited to welcome you to my podcast called Shop Talk, where we're going to interview local entrepreneurs and community leaders to hopefully get actionable insights on how they've built their lives and their businesses that you, the audience, can take with them and hopefully implement into your life and your business. Hey everybody, it's Kevin Deline again, and we're going to do something a little new today. This is going to be a solo episode of Shop Talk. This is our 8th episode, and had some things I wanted to talk about personally, so figured this would be the best opportunity to do so. I really today wanted to talk about a couple things. One would be the state of the property restoration industry. There's a lot of things that are changing in our industry and wanted to let you, our customers, know about what those things are. Also some exciting stuff. We're going to be going through a rebrand this year, and I wanted to give some context as to why we're doing that and what that's all about. And then finally is go over some internal rules for success that we created as an organization. I wanted to share those with you guys. So hopefully any of you out there who are on an entrepreneurial journey, you can maybe take some of this and implement it into your business. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Today, I wanted to talk about what the state of the property restoration industry is. As a company, this is something that we've been in the middle of, obviously, for many years. And I had a refresher in this last week when I was in Arizona for some training on commercial restoration. Our industry is, I think, sometimes a little over-dramatized internally. You're kind of stuck in a echo chamber of people who have one way of thinking and another way. But I'm here to give my hot take on this. In our industry, there's two different types of contractors. There's a contractor who gets work directly from the insurance company. Those are called TPA vendors. That's third-party administrator, which is a company that works for the insurance company. And then there's companies more like Deline Restoration, where we have salespeople and digital marketing that we use to acquire our customers. We don't get them from the insurance company, but typically we're working with the insurance company once a claim has been started. And there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of macroeconomic things that are going on with those two subsets of contractors. But I wanted to inform our customers, obviously people listening to this, what that means for them. And so they can make an educated decision when they're choosing a contractor to work with. So I'm going to first start off by explaining what those two situations look like for you, and then how you can help make an educated guess on that. So let's start by explaining what a TPA vendor contractor is and why they're even around and why contractors join them. So first things first, I think the insurance agents or insurance companies have been hammered by bad contractors. And I think not enough people talk about that. There is a lot of shady contractors out there. I think everybody knows somebody who's been screwed over by a contractor in the past. And so I think these were eliminated to help eliminate the waste, fraud, and abuse that happens with insurance claims. For a while, there's contractors who are charging astronomical rates because they think Jake from State Farm can pay whatever you want, right? Or, creating false claims. And I think that kind of tainted the industry, and so I think that these third-party administrators were created to help manage the claims costs. Insurance companies are smart. They understand, listen, if we can help slow this cost, this helps increase our margins. They're a business like anybody else. So that's why these were created. I think, conceptually, I think that they are a good idea. It just keeps everybody honest and accountable. But I think the current state of them has been a little bit tainted, right? Their values became misaligned, where when you're a vendor for them, your loyalty is more tied to the carrier and what the carrier's best interests are, which is usually their bottom line, rather than the homeowner and the industry standards. And so they've gotten away from what they originally intended to do. And so now a lot of the times, and this isn't for everybody, but a lot of them are really putting, I guess, the profit, which is really the least amount of dollar amount on that claim that you can, over anything else. It's like a doctor not prescribing the right medication to you because they can make more money working with an insurance company. And so it's created an interesting shift where contractors are maybe cutting corners, doing things a little too quickly, not drying out homes as long. And so that's really what I think is happening with these TPAs. They started off as a good idea and they've become a little bastardized as we've gone on. And so I think it's important for people to understand that the insurance company isn't always looking out for your best interest when they were sending out those vendors. A lot of those vendors have national agreements with these insurance companies that give them work in the long term, but it's low margin work that they can't really provide the service that you deserve for. And so I recommend staying away from them. There's certain situations where they're the only people that can respond and you're going to have to do what you have to do, but that's typically what's going on with those contractors. And then there's contractors like us here at Deline, where we go out and we fight for our work on a daily basis. We have salespeople and marketing, and we find you, the customer, bring you into our sphere, and then we help you with your claim. And I think that is a better way of going about these things, because our values are tied to you. You're our customer. We are making sure that we make you happy and we restore your home appropriately. And so this allows us the freedom to tell you what we need to tell you, right? Hey, we can't dry this out. Hey, this has mold in it. We shouldn't be blowing air at it, right? These are all nuances on our industry. But when you're working for the homeowner, we can have the right value system attached to it. We do what's best for you, not what's best for the carrier's bottom line. And so those are really the two differences between the vendor programs. It's really, who are you working for? Because at the end, that's what you're going to see is why we're making decisions, right? As a homeowner, to help you make a decision on it, I think it really comes into response time. If you have an insurance company preferred vendor who says they can be there in an hour or that day, great. And if you can't find anybody else in your region who can get there in a reasonable time and you have emergency services, the best thing to do is get the person there the first, right? And then as a homeowner, it's just to manage them, right? If you are going to use a vendor program, ask them why they're doing what they're doing. Is this the right way to do it? Can you show me some industry guidelines? And just make sure that you're monitoring people. The same should go for anybody who's not on a third-party administrator. Keep an eye on your contractors. There's a lot of bad players out there, so protect yourself. Become knowledgeable in the subject. Nowadays with AI, with Google, the way it is, like you can type in a question, hey, when I have a water damage and it originated from a sump pump overflow, should I save my carpet, right? You can ask these things anything you want, and you can get some insight to manage your contractor. So I think the biggest thing for you as a homeowner is choose somebody who will respond quick and manage them appropriately. And from there, you should be okay. Ask questions, don't be ignorant, and I think it'll all work out great, because there still is a lot of great restoration contractors on both sides of the spectrum. And now I want to talk about our rebrand. So we've decided as an organization that it's important that we take a step back and we clarify our vision going forward. And then that's going to come with a new brand. And I wanted to give everybody a heads up, because you're going to start to see new logos, new services provided, and didn't want it to be like a shot in the dark and random for everybody. So what we did as an organization is kind of took a step back and figured out where we want to go, and then reverse engineered everything from there. When I first started the business, we knew we wanted to be in restoration, and we really that's all we had, and we wanted to keep the lights on and keep everybody employed and happy. So you do what you got to do, right? You get out there and you make it happen and you get the jobs done. But now we're at a phase where we have to think about where we're going so we can build a team and an organization that has a culture that we value. And so it took a lot of time to do that. It wasn't something that we wanted to just willy-nilly throw out there. We wanted to think about where we want to go and what we're going to do. So I'd like to read to you guys our new mission statement going forward. And this really helped craft our whole vision for 2026 and beyond. So our mission statement is as follows. Our mission is to become a national leader and innovator in the home services industry. Built on a foundation of emergency response and expertise in managing the unexpected, we are committed to delivering exceptional solutions that restore, rebuild, enhance, and clean the homes and businesses across our country. And so, as you can see there, we started to widen our view, right? We want to grow outside of our local region here, and we really want to take on a more multilateral approach to things. We want to work on commercial buildings as residential and not just do restoration. We want to, broaden our horizons as time goes on. And so we've made the decision to rebrand to what our actual legal entity name is, and that's Deline Services. And so throughout the course of this year, you're going to start to see things change, whether it's a truck that's wrapped with the new brand. It might be our back wall here on the podcast studio, but we're going to slowly start to do these things because there obviously is a cost associated with them. Unfortunately, we came to this realization after we've branded a lot of things with this logo and this brand, but I think this is important moving forward. So you're going to start to see things change. We'll have a new logo that we're going to be excited to unveil. I just wanted to kind of give everybody a glance into what that's going to look like. Another reason that we wanted to do this is because our business has gotten a little confusing over the past years as we've bolted on other types of services and brands to it. So currently we have our restoration business, we have our Attic Boys division, and soon we're going to be adding a construction division through a merger of a local business that we're doing. And I felt, and my opinion has always been, when I build a business, I want it to be simple and easy for a customer to understand. It's like when you think of Deleen, I want you to think of X, Y, and Z, right? And I think right now it just has become too big and it's confusing. And so I want everybody to have a easy understanding of it. So that's why we decided to do Deleen services. And instead of having different brands, we're just going to have different divisions. A division that does property restoration, one that does attic restoration, reconstruction, and so on and so forth. And it allows us to really expand into the services we want to as we grow forward. So all that said, I'm excited for you guys to check out our new logo and our brand as we go forward. We're going to start to unveil that this summer, and just keep an eye out for it and make sure you help us spread the word. And then next, I wanted to go through something that we also did in this process of finding where we're going to be going and what it's going to look like. And that was we created some rules for success internally here. I actually took inspiration from the Nike story with Phil Knight, where I was reading the book that he made, and they talk about Nike's rules for success. And it really started to motivate me to think that's a powerful way to keep a team aligned with your core values, right? If you create rules that you want your organization to live by. I thought it was a great idea, and so I took the liberty to recreate some for our own business. And I'm going to read them for you and talk about each one individually. So our first rule for success is putting the quality of our people first. I believe in that fully. I think without building a great team and taking care of them first, you can't have great customer service. Your customers aren't going to be happy. You probably won't be profitable. It's so important that whoever works for you feels happy to come in the morning and feels motivated to do the things when nobody's looking. And so that's why I think being diligent when you're hiring, making sure that you're getting the right character, but also treating people the way that you'd want to be treated. The golden rule is just making a culture of I'm not the boss and I'm not pointing the finger. We're a team and we care about the same vision and mission, and we're going to go forth with that mindset. So that's why I made that our first rule. I think it's just the most important that we build a team of people that are high quality and love what they do, because our job isn't always glamorous. So we have to make sure that we create a great culture that really embodies that. Second is lead by example. Another great one. I've had bosses in my life that didn't lead by example. They were more, tell you what to do and just go do it and blah, 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 right? And you never really wanted to go to bat for those people. And so I've always wanted to be the leader that says, listen, if I'm going to ask you to do something, I've either done it before or I'm going to do it with you so we can learn it together. And I want to create a culture that does that as well. So whether it be a lead tech teaching a junior tech or me teaching an organization, we just want to have a culture where I've been there, I've done that, and you should see how I can do it and not expect you to do things that we would never do. And so I think that that's an important rule as well. The next one is challenge conventional wisdom, always innovate and improve. I think my industry specifically, the property restoration business, is very old school. There's so many guys that are still on pencil and paper for all sorts of things, estimates, dry logs, and all that. And there's so much room for innovation in our industry and really any industry. So it's just not being stuck with this is the way we've done it before and this is the way we're always going to do it. It's always try and innovate and improve. We are, as an organization, always changing softwares, always investing in equipment and things like that help make the job more efficient, help eliminate repetitive tasks. And I think that that's so important going forward is that we always innovate. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck in this small business mindset where you're just, on a hamster wheel. And so we want to make a culture where everybody feels safe that, hey, maybe this isn't the best way to do it. And can we please try this? And I would say 7 out of 10 times is going to fail, but the beauty comes in those other times where you've tried these things, they work out, and now you have a new way of doing it that saves everybody time and effort and energy. The next one is treat every project like our competitor is watching, and I love that one. We've kind of created a culture where we want to be the best in our area, in our industry, and so I think that's an important one is when you're working on a job, do it as if your competitor or your customer were watching you every time. If we're in an abandoned building, we're going to be treating it the same way as if we had, Mrs. J and the homeowner staring over our shoulder, looking at all of our work, right? We should do everything like there's a spotlight on us. And I think that creates some motivation to not cut corners and to do things the right way. The next, and this might be my favorite one, is be the calm for our customers. Our business is inherently a little stressful for us, the employees, but also all of our customers. Usually these are unexpected events that people have never been through that they're experiencing. And so I think it's important for us not to add fuel to the fire, but to be a calming force for them. Listen, we got you, okay? This is all we do every day. We understand how to take care of this, and we're going to take care of you, right? And we understand that sometimes these projects are more emotional than they are actually the work. And so it's important that us as an organization carry that level of calmness for our customers, and we're not adding fuel to the fire. So I think that one's very important as well. Next one, show up clean, work clean, and leave clean. I think our best projects has been when we've left a home cleaner than when we arrived, even if it's something that wasn't pertaining to our project. I remember when I first started the business, we were working in a mud room of a home, and so we had to go through the garage. And we cleaned up that mud room and it looked great, but we were leaving and I knew the person was a little older and their garage was kind of disorganized. So I said to the guys, we don't have anything else to do the rest of this day. Let's just clean up this garage. We power wash the floors, we put everything back. And that's an extreme example, but that homeowner was so ecstatic. And so we've tried to carry that going forward is like, listen, whatever we do, we're technically a cleaning company. Let's make sure every project is pristine. We leave the home perfect. And then that creates raving reviews and great customers. And that just feeds upon itself. So I think that one's very important as well. And then last but not least, do the extra step, take the extra time, care more, and money will always follow. I've been, since my first job, always been kind of parlaying one move into the next and not really cashing out on anything because I know that long-term is where the money will play. And I like to create that as a culture. Is like, listen, we're not here to make all of our money on one project, and it's really an investment in a long-term goal. And that's what we're trying to achieve here. It's not, we're cashing out on every job. It's just do everything right and good karma follows and the money will also come. So those are our rules for success. I hope that some of you can find some value in those and maybe take some of this and bring it into your own business. It's been very helpful for us as an organization to have these rules to guide our team by. It helps with interviewing, helps with weekly meetings. Let's make sure we're staying between the guide rails of these rules and, helps us go out there and build a great company. So hope some of you can get some value out of this. Thank you all for your time. All right, folks, that's all the time we had for this episode. We're going to end it here and hopefully catch you on the next one.